The Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our ServiceNow series, where we interview the best and brightest of the industry to share their story, advice, and views on the exciting world of ServiceNow and digital transformation. So you're listening to the Alldus podcast, ServiceNow series, and today I'm joined by Wessel, who is tech lead at KLM and two-time MVP. Thank you very much for joining me today, Wessel.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
And so let's just take it from the very start then. I'd love to hear about your journey to ServiceNow. Tell us about your background.
Yeah, so I'm currently living in the Netherlands. I work with the ServiceNow platform for more than a decade. I started as a IT service desk agent in South Africa. So I moved abroad a couple of years ago. And that was my first interaction and working with ServiceNow. And it really just sparked something in me. And I wanted to go into it, to deep dive into it and learn more about the platform. And eventually that turned into a role and a business opportunity for me to become a developer on the ServiceNow platform. I moved companies and I moved countries again to become a junior developer for ServiceNow. And over the years that it just grew. I started with IT service management and IT operations management, as most people do when they start with the ServiceNow platform as technical persons or developers. But just later on, I just wanted to do something different than what everybody globally is doing with the platform. And I have a lot of friends and connections that work in HR. And at the time, ServiceNow released their HR module. So yeah, I just took a gamble and dived into the HR service delivery module, which is now, of course, the employee workflow. So it also includes the new employee center portal. And it worked out, luckily. It's something that I'm currently very passionate about, and it's something that you see grow a lot within the ecosystem. So yeah, that's basically it.
That's basically it. Well, you've kept yourself busy then, it sounds.
Absolutely, yeah.
And thinking about your role just now then, what was it that initially attracted to the work that you're doing specifically at KLM?
I've been working within consultancy environments for most of the years in my career, but I never had the opportunity to work at a customer site, which was always interesting to me, how it would differ from the consultancy environments. And at some point with my previous employer, I've heard that KLM was actually going to invest in ServiceNow HR and that they wanted to implement it. And when I heard that, it's something that really said, okay, this is something I have to be part of. KLM is something that is a well-known Dutch brand. It's the oldest airline that still exists today. So of course, for such a well-known organization, especially in the Netherlands, it would be great to be part of the implementation for their HR organization, but also for the employees globally. And eventually I just contacted KLM and wanted to know more about the project and how it's going and introduced myself. And that led up to me being hired at KLM and currently being part of the implementation journey of their employee journey.
You've taken a lot of intent in the moves that you've made within your path so far, which is really great to see. You've kind of shaped the direction that you wanted to be able to follow and use your connections and, listened to what's going on within the ServiceNow world. So I'm glad that you're happy at KLM and the work that you're doing and really making an impact there. And you're also a two-time MVP. Tell us a little bit about that journey to becoming an MVP.
Oh, yeah, two times MVP. Well, MVPs are well known within the ServiceNow ecosystem, and there's a lot of Dutch MVPs as well, and they were always such a big source of inspiration for me. Also, when I was becoming more specialized on the platform and towards employee workflow, so they were always the people that I looked up to, and after quite some years getting familiar with what I was doing and really getting specialized in the parts on the platform that I was doing. At some point, I also said, okay, now I have the experience. I just want to give back to the community, something that I've gained a lot and learned a lot from the community. Now I want to give back as well. And that really worked out. I took my own road in that sense, not continuously being on the community and answering all kind of questions on the forums. I still do that sometimes, but it wasn't my main source or main activity. I just decided to do videos and presentations on local events and just giving back the experience because, like I said, there's a lot of interest in the employee workflows. Yeah, and eventually that got me Rising Star in 2024, and I become part of the Rising Star group where I met Jerry Wong, and we just connected together and we said, okay, it would be great from a functional perspective from his role and a technical perspective from my role to just create a YouTube series together. And we did that. And eventually that got us MVP as well. So that was really great.
Yeah, and Jerry's also a very well-known name within the ServiceNow space. So it's kind of
Absolutely.
two great people coming together. And I like the idea of it being the kind of split between both of your best parts to create something whole. And is your YouTube series still something that you spend some time on, or is there any way that anyone listening to this can go back and watch some old episodes?
Yeah, we started last year. So we mainly focus on creating videos on new features, but also on some interesting features that we see on the community that a lot of questions are about, so that we try to figure out and create a video on it to explain it to people. And like I said, we do that from both a functional and a technical perspective. So yeah, it's really great. The YouTube series is definitely still on. We had some personal issues in the beginning of this year on both our ends.
Okay.
So the recordings for this year, I think we only did 1 or 2. We're picking that up currently. So we try to do another 2 or 3 before the end of the year.
Yep.
So that's getting back up to speed.
Nice. Well, it gives people something to look forward to. So, and thinking about the work that you do within the community, we've just talked a lot about how you kind of give back, but what is it about giving back to the community that's been so important to you?
Well, it played a huge role in my own development. So giving that back feels quite natural. I really enjoy connecting with other people, sharing knowledge and helping people to navigate the same challenges I faced when I started with my ServiceNow journey. I think the community overall, not only the forums and the blogs, but just the community overall with all the events that are being organized, you really gain a lot of knowledge from those events. And when you just start out with ServiceNow, it's really helping you to get more familiar and knowing how features work. So yeah, like I mentioned, it really felt natural to give that back once I had that knowledge to also help other people. So we continue the loop.
Yeah, so it's a lovely cycle to be in. And reflecting back on the career that you've had so far, is there anything at all that you would have done differently over the last 10 years?
Well, I think if I could change a thing, I think I would invest it earlier in scripting, in mastering scripting. I think JavaScript was something I started out with first, but once I started as well with the development of the portal, it also becomes important that you have HTML, CSS, Angular knowledge. I think it would have been better to start with that sooner. I think eventually it got me to the same place I am today, but I think the skill would have accelerated my growth significantly.
Was there any particular tools that really helped you master that skill?
I'm more a try and error guy. So I just open my laptop and I just go give it a try.
Go for it until you get it.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools out there that can support you. Of course, I have some books on it as well, but I really like to do hands-on. So just try, build some things, see if it works, what doesn't work, debug, and just continue like that. And eventually you pick up quicker what is missing and what is going wrong so you can fix it easier.
Thanks. I like it. Hands-on, active learner.
Yeah.
And obviously learning scripting, I'm sure, came with some challenges, but ones that were rewarding at the same time. But is there any other challenges in specific ServiceNow projects that you've worked on that you can reflect on and maybe share a case study and how you approached it?
Yeah, so I have done a lot of interesting implementations, and I think especially when it comes to HR and just the employee journey overall, it becomes sometimes difficult because HR, of course, is very sensitive information and data in
Of course.
general. And if you or if you implement something for the entire company as an employee journey, a lot more people become involved instead of just IT or just HR. I think one of the challenging projects was an implementation I've done for a European company that did a global rollout. So we also have to take in all the legal matters and restrictions for each country that we have to mandatory put in the process automation flows. But I think the most challenging is the one I'm currently still working on at KLM, which especially is very political due to the fact that it's not only KLM, but we're a group, of course, with Air France.
Yeah.
So it's two major companies that's sharing a single platform. And of course, the differences between the countries and the cultures are very big, but also the legal requirements and the HR requirements for each country are different. So I think it's very challenging to figure out how to adjust those processes to be aligned as much as possible, but still consider all these legal requirements.
So a very tough and challenging project, but again, one that comes with a lot of rewards. It seems to be a theme in the work that you've done over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna take a little bit more time than we thought initially, maybe, but eventually we'll definitely get there, and I think it's gonna be something awesome.
Great. And thinking about AI then, obviously we got to meet in person at Knowledge this year, which was great.
Yeah.
Another year talking about some very interesting and cool features coming along with AI. Do you, as someone that's been in the ecosystem for, as you said, a decade, see AI impacting the ServiceNow ecosystem?
Yeah, it's something a lot of people are wondering, how is it going to change? I think
Yeah.
it's clear that AI is going to reshape how customers think about efficiency, user experience, and automation. I think adopting is going to accelerate with AI, and also the expectations from intelligence workflows are rising with it. So I think it's going to be a companion for most of the technical people. I think a lot of people are still worried that they're going to replace it. I think for maybe for parts of your job, but not everything, it's going to
Yeah.
make it easier. It's going to support you, and it's going to help making implementations. So I think a lot of
Sure.
customers are looking forward to that.
Definitely. I was speaking to someone recently about how adoption for this new wave of technology with AI has been maybe a lot faster than what we've seen in other waves of new technologies coming out. And I think the reason for that is because it resonates so much with everyone within the hierarchy or within the ecosystem. There's value that not just, the CEOs can get, it can make everyone within a hierarchy or within an organization work more efficiently or more effectively. So people are maybe adopting it faster because they can see value just straight away for them.
Yeah, I also think it removes parts of the dependency that a lot of people within a business side of a company have. I think with AI, they can do a lot of things themselves by just
Yeah.
giving a prompt or speaking nowadays. To get the information or report or something that they want to see or have an overview of, for example, in management, instead of relying on the technical teams to provide that for them,
Yeah.
which also creates more space and time for the technical people to work on the actual technical parts.
Yeah, definitely. And looking forward then, what can we expect from you in the next half of 2026? Or is there anything in particular that you're excited about going into the second half of the year?
Well, I think I'm most excited about the continued evolution of the ServiceNow AI capabilities, how they will enable more strategic and human-centered work. Like I mentioned, I think it's going to help a lot of companies with making their work easier. It's something at KLM that we're also currently looking at. How is AI going to support our ServiceNow environments? And how are we going to make it more efficient as well for our shared service centers, both on IT and HR side? So yeah, that's something I'm really looking forward to, how that's going to work out.
Great. Well, look, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been great to hear your story in more depth, and all the best with the continued HRSD implementation work that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you very much. And again, thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.